the astrological or zodiac signs, right? We all have some sort of familiarity with, oh, my sun is in the whatever sign, right? And there are 12 of them, and we can appreciate that. And yet there's so much more to each sign. Think about it. We have carved up the world from an archetypal perspective into 12 categories. The range is vast. And so, as with everything, this is a very introductory, exploration of the signs. And so the first rule of magic is do no harm. So for your personal pleasure, have fun, enjoy. If you want to peek with a friend, that's great. But the pursuit of astrology is vast and deep. So with that being said, let's start with the signs. The signs have an expression and an affiliation with particular planets and with particular houses, but they're different. The signs are the flavor, the spice, the characteristics. They're much more the adjective of life, whereas the houses are the doing, the being, the verb, and the planets are the doing upon and the opening up to and the wrangling or the riding of. So the planets are the energy. The signs have an expression, they have an essence. It's a much softer. We are required to do something with that expression. And so let's start with Aries, the daredevil, the survivor, the warrior, the action-oriented, fiery energy of that like spark. It's like, right? So Aries, you might know Aries as being adventurous. You might know them as being leaders. You may know them as being very action-oriented, bold, courageous, warrior-like. They may also be defenders or defensive. They also might not have so much with the patience. Aries are, and then next, super fun, but super fiery. So then we have the beautiful expression of Taurus. So Taurus is not that. Taurus is dependable, reliable, true. Taurus is comfortable, stable, very, very reliable. They're the people that you go to when you know you need somebody to show up, and they will show up. Taurians, though, can be stubborn or staid or like to have the everything known before they make a decision. They're very earthy. They like their own space and their own time. They adore music and sound and vibration. They love all the senses. They want to explore life at their own pace, and a lot of times it's at a snail's pace. And they don't want anybody disrupt or disturb them at all. They're homebodies. They can be introverted. Their leadership style is very different than the Aryan one. The Aryan one is like, I am going to take the mountain, come follow me. The Taurian one is like, hey, you know what? I know an awful lot about that mountain. Can I guide your way? Can I help you up that mountainside? I'll go with you. Or I can tell you about it and you can go on your own. Taurians can be lazy. And as I said before, they can be stubborn. It's okay. Every sign has a higher expression, and every sign has an expression that we may dip into during times of stress. The Gemini, that yes to life, the everything is true all at once, black, white, red, green, yes, no. And the Gemini says, of course, no worries. Super talkative, vivacious, charming, quick-witted, humorous, fast. Different than the Aryan fast. The Gemini is like, wait, shiny object fast. They can get really scattered, flighty, and distracted. They can be the ones that are the big, yes, of course I want to go there at this time and do these things and learn all these things and read about them all. And there's just not enough time in the world. And so they're often late. They're often the ones that forget. Oh, I told you I was going to be there on Saturday. Wait, it's Saturday? I got caught up in something else. If you're in front of them, they're your best friends. If you're not in front of them, they may forget you. but they're so charming that you forgive them because they're so interesting. They are very vivacious. They are the ones that make you feel comfortable, and yet they may not want to go deep because they're ready to go do the next things. There's not enough time for all the information that a Gemini wants to digest. Then we have Cancer. Cancer is that like coming home. It's that sweet, tender caregiving. You feel really comfortable with them. They put you at ease. They are very empathetic, almost to the sympathetic point. They are literally, they feel like you're coming home with them. You feel so incredibly embraced. They make you feel at home. They want to feed you. They want to nest with you. They want to create sanctuary for you. They are the ones they do have their own reliable rhythm and pace when it comes to caregiving. They like to be needed. So Cancers, like, they love to be loved. They love to be appreciated. They love to be received for the way that they like to give. Cancerians, like Taurians, are more of the introverted expression than an Aries or a Gemini. They are both the masculine expression, that outward expression, whereas the Taurus and the Cancer are feminine, and there's that more inward expression. Doesn't make them, Cancerians happen to be very successful typically, especially in businesses that are about finance or about home or about, it's like long-term assets. Cancerians, the long view. They are part of your family. They want to befriend you until the end of time. They often have sweet remembrances of the past. They're a very soft energy, but do not mistake the fact that they can be the most unbelievable defenders. Think of that mama bear that you have wronged somebody and they're my somebody. I will fight to the death, right? And I will become obstinate about it. I will become ferocious about it. So Cancerians have another side. They have that protector side. Then we come to Leo. So Leo is an outward expression. Leo is a fiery sign. Leo wants to be joyful, and they're expressive, and they want to have fun, and they're athletic, and they're creative, and they're the life of the party. They're the ones that are like, oh, let's go out to dinner. Well, I would love to be entertained. Let's have an improv theater session. Let's all grab like whatever our way we like to express ourselves, whether that's poetry or that's theater, or that's a song, or that's a phrase, or a debate, or I think I said story, but like honestly, Leos are like, absolutely, let's entertain. Their leadership energy is very much about their own experience, their own expression. They're very authentic. They want to lead from a place of nobility. They want to be seen, and they want to be heard, and they want to be known, but they also have a vulnerability. Leos are very, very sensitive. They will not show you that side unless they trust you, because their whole purpose is to have a joyful, open heart. They're about pleasure. And there's a vulnerability to say, like, what do you enjoy? How do you like to be living from that satisfaction and that fulfillment way? Like, what are your passions? These are very vulnerable topics. And yet Leo walks into a room like bright as day in there, very, very gorgeous, like his art is like a big thing, very theatrical, expressive, beautiful style and flair, and sometimes even their expression and how they express themselves. And they're there for the whole world to see. And so when they are appreciated and acknowledged, they're jovial and they're happy and they're generous. When they're not, though, when they're overlooked and when they're not being able to be true to themselves, they are deeply wounded. And that's when they wrap their pride around them and they can come out as caustic and boastful. But they have to, because their hearts are just wounded. Then we have Virgo. I think Virgo is the most misunderstood sign in the zodiac. Virgo is another earthly sign. It's a feminine sign. So she is reliable, and she is, accountable and responsible. She's very dutiful. However, she's in the pursuit of her potential. She is in the pursuit of how does the soul live here on earth. So a lot of astrologers will talk about her as a perfectionist. She can see what the way things should be, and she knows that she has the fortitude, the tenacity, the discipline to be able to fulfill that. So she can drive herself a little bit crazy. Like, that's where you get the, I say this about Virgo, there's just something, you don't know what's there. It's just this hum. Sometimes the hum feels good and you're like, okay, that's groovy. And then other times you're like, what is the hum? Something's bothering me. And it's like this voice going, oh, it could be better. Oh, you know what to do. Oh, you could do something about it. Think about it. She's the embodiment of your potential. So she's going to be naggy. She's going to be like, have you done this? Because this potential is right over here. Can you see it? Oh, you can. What are we going to do about it? And it's an earthly sign, so it's action. Even though it's a feminine sign, it is still action. Virgo is really, really in her element when she's in that healthy alignment. So that body, mind, spirit alignment settles her down a lot. And then she can breathe, and she can appreciate that there's cycles, and there's just a rhythm of life, and she can develop that rhythm that's meaningful for her. When she allows herself to open to her heart and to recognize that her body is her temple, and she really communes with that, that's when that goddess can land, or that God can land, and you can say, oh yes, I remember. Oh, okay. So, and I am in that lineage of being able to, be in the world in this very beautiful service. Not free service, it's not volunteer work here, but it's in service. It's in service to my craft, it's in service to my skill, it's in service to my expertise, it's in service to my own potential and my satisfaction of achieving that potential. And then she's luscious, and then she can become like a befriended role model and a mentor, and that's lovely and beautiful. And then we have Libra. Libra is about you and me. There's this beautiful exchange that happens with Libra. Libras do not that any sign lives on its own, but Librans cannot. They must interact with others. Again, we as humans all must do this, but Libras, they came here to do this. Libra, 100%. Like, I am not going to be, not that I don't need downtime, but I'm not going to be isolated. I am going to connect. I am a connector. I'm a collaborator. I am the one that will be always, understanding, appreciating, being able to navigate the relationship with you. I understand me, and I understand you, and I understand us. And so there's a beautiful interdependent, interlocking life that the Librans seek. And they want to do it in harmony. They want to have this beautiful, design orchestration of life that enables them to be the architects of their life. And so there is an artistic flair with Librans as well. So they're beautiful architects, designers, and I like to put it in the relationship category because that's its purest form. Again, these are expressions, and they are known as lovers because they typically will commit. But I like to talk about them as they're committed to relationship. That's really the essence of Libra. I'm committed to relationship with me, relationship with the world, relationship with you, relationship with a beautiful, harmonious expression of that. Then we have Scorpios. Scorpios are deep. Scorpios are intense. Scorpios are the personification of power. Scorpios are mysterious. Scorpios they can be manipulative and controlling. They're possessive. And it's because they're here to live. They're here to fully, deeply, drenchingly experience not only what we can see, but what we can't see. They're the ones that have the mysteries at hand. Like when you're in that scorpionic energy, you are so comfortable with the uncomfortable. You are so familiar with the unfamiliar, and you are so completely almost passé with things that would blow other people's minds. You're like, sure, of course, this is soul work. I get it. I'm here to transform. I'm like the phoenix. I can burn to ash and I can come back up and I will be better than ever. So a lot of people find Scorpios very difficult to deal with, but they're magnetic. They're beautifully like attractive because they're the personification of power. And so Scorpios are all that. And then we have Sagittarius. Sagittarius is an explorer. Sagittarius is an adventurer. Sagittarius is the one you go to when you say, oh, you know what? Let's go to Siberia and tomorrow. And Sagittarius goes, okay. And they're like, I don't even have to stop to pack my bag. Well, maybe I will, right? They're gregarious. They're social creatures. They love to experience life. They are the ones that are the party goers. They're the ones that they can be the life of the party. A little bit different than Leo. They're a little bit more, Sagittarius is a little bit more wanting to experience just for the experience itself. And so they're not really bringing themselves into the equation. If you see them or you don't see them, they're totally fine. They just want the experience. So they could be in a crowd of 1,000, they could be in a crowd of like 4, and they're completely satisfied as long as it's interesting, as long as there's like an expanse. So Sagittarians love the big vast openness of the ability to, I'm talking to this person and they are scientific and they are like wanting to know, like dot the I's and cross the T's. And then 2 minutes later, I'm talking to this person and this person is a complete creative and they are just having a completely different vibe. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to eat this food and then I'm going to eat that food and then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to eat that. They want to experience life. They came here to like experience life. They are on a quest. Literally, and their quest is life itself. And it's not just like, there is a philosophical like element to the Sagittarius, but not really. Meaning like Sagittarius just wants to expand. They just want to know. Like that's the thing. Sagittarians want to know. They want the answers. Tell me all the things. And then when you tell me all the things, I might remember because I care, and I might not remember because I don't care. But it's in the experience of your telling. So they're like the journeyers. They want to journey. They want to legit journey, but then actually like just experience the journey of life. Destination snafus. Oh, they didn't end up where you thought you were going to be. They don't care. They're the ones that are like, no big deal. I ended up in Mexico and I was supposed to go to Saudi Arabia. And then they're like, but it was so cool in Mexico because I met all these people. And then they just start talking and you're swept up with it. And you're like, oh my God, you had the best time. Where were you supposed to be again? The Sagittarius is like, I don't remember, because it doesn't matter. It's like, they're so fun. They tend to stretch the truth sometimes, though. They tend to be sometimes careless with others because they just are so swept up in the experience that they could forget. They don't mean to. And then you have Capricorns, the serious ones. The Capricorns are wildly misunderstood too. So Capricorns are known to be stoic, and they're known to be achievers, and they're known to be very disciplined, very goal-oriented, very much like, I'm going to make the hard choices and I'm going to roll up my sleeves and do the work, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm usually going to go it alone, but yet can't. So that's the thing. One of the big things the Capricorn needs to learn is how to be open to receiving support, how to be open to not only leading people, but to being among people, to be like shoulder to shoulder with them. Like literally a Capricorn will kind of go like this, like not so much. Like I feel super comfortable because I've already reached this goal and I can tell others about it. I'm really good at that. I'm really good at helping usher people along. I'm not so good at being among them and taking their hands and walking with them. And yet for Capricorns, that's so great, because when a Capricorn comes into that, there's a lightness in the life. There's a big like sigh. It's like, oh, okay, that next summit isn't where I want to be. This one right here where I am right now is where I want to be. And then they can open up to the wonder of them, and they can open up to the humor of them and the childlike play of them. The deep secret with Capricorns is they do want to play. It's just that they wrap work around them so much so that they're hurt if they're not invited to play. So for Capricorns, learning how to play is what's a really big deal. Then we have Aquarius. Aquarius knows how to play. Aquarius is all about, like, Capricorn, you have wrapped way too much stuff around you. You have way too many responsibilities. You have too much crap to do. I am not doing any of that. And Aquarius is like, exit stage left. I am going to go seek my own path. Everybody's doing this. They're all doing the same thing. That's the trend. I'm interested to know what the trend is, but I'm definitely not going to do that. There's no way I'm doing that because everybody else is doing that. Look, there's no one over here. I'm going to go over here. Hey, wait, hey, what's over here? And then Aquarius goes off, right? And Aquarius is so incredible that they're seekers. They're seekers of the abstract. They're seekers of like things that aren't here yet. They're like the future star seeds. They're like the ones that are going to land things that you're like, wait, what now? I can't even fathom that. You've blown my mind. And Aquarius goes, yes, I have. And I figured the whole thing out. So they're architects in a different way than Librans are. Librans are architects of relationship, and Aquarians, when they are grounded, they are the architects of the future. When they're not grounded, they are like, you're like watching them and you're thinking like, wait a minute, is there a thread of reality here? Where have they gone? They can get really swept up in their own genius and their own brilliance. And then they might just be talking in circles. So Aquarians being grounded is really, really good. The other thing about Aquarians is for them to recognize that they are in a relationship with life. They like the larger groups. They like to be in that like world impact leveling. They like to be in like acquaintances with people. They like to have a little bit of distance, and yet they're human like everybody else. So for them to be hanging with their like-minded people can give them enough of that centering and that balancing that feels good. And then taking time in solitude is really, really good for them to remember that to like come home again, to be you are an embodied person. You are actually human. You're living in the now. So to return to the now is really, really good for Aquarians. And then we have Pisces, the final zodiac sign. We have Pisces, the sweet, compassionate, creative, generous, kind-hearted sign that can sometimes get overrun and overwrought. They're very much the feelers in life. They can sense things. They can perceive in a way that other signs don't. They don't quite have any sort of barrier around them, but they didn't want to. They wanted to be able to experience life, to open up to it, to open up to the creativity in it. So they want to experience it at every level, that heart, mind, body, spirit level. They want to do all of that. So I like to say they digest life. They're like the ones that kind of like walk into life and have life shower over them. So it allows them to be amazingly creative. Like they are the ones that they say something and you're kind of like, I wouldn't have looked at it that way. That's really cool. But they're a softer expression. They're a more introverted expression than the Aquarius that can also blow your mind, right? They are the sweetness of life. Like like think about the air of it. And there's like mist in the air. There's almost, there's healing in the air. There's resonance of things in the air, and they can just kind of like pluck it and be like, here, when they feel safe. That's a big thing for Pisces. They're such antennas for the world that they often are like, they're overwhelmed by it. So when they become overwhelmed by it, they become victim. They have that victim mentality, like it's too much for me, I can't do that. No, that's not true. There are ways that you're going to want to be able to allow that big, huge absorption to happen, and then you're going to want to create space and time where it doesn't. So Pisces are very open, but they're going to want to be able to learn how to navigate with that openness. So these are the 12 zodiac signs. And again, it's the expression, it's the adjective, it's the essence. These are not like active energies. I've given, ways to navigate them. However, these are These are like the clothing that you wear, and it's not the doing with that clothing, right? Like, meaning like there's no action here. There's the action comes from the houses and from the behaviors, and they come from the planets. So the other introductory video is about the planets.